First of all, thanks everyone for coming tonight for the launch of the new 1190 KTM Adventure. It hasn't been a waste of time, I promise you. It's a superb bike, and I'm going to try to tell you some more things about it. Jeremy Mcwilliams is here tonight, and Jeremy was on the development team in the development and the working of the traction control and the ABS system. About a couple of weeks ago I was in Tenerife and I rode this bike on the World Press launch, and I promise you I was impressed. It was just a really good bike. It rides like a sports bike on the good road. It handles like an off-road bike on the off-road stuff I tried it on, even though I wasn't supposed to because I had road tyres on, and it has the comfort of any adventure style bike. Really, it's a totally new bike compared to the old one. Just some of the main improvements. It's improved all round safety features. It's improved rider and passenger comfort. The cooling system's improved on it. The service schedule is really interesting. We'll get to that later on. The engine is a work of art for a 1200 V twin, really. It's so smooth that it's unbelievable how it goes down low, and anyone who books in for a test ride will find out. And one thing that the other bike liked was fuel, so they've made this bike a lot more efficient. Performance is superb on it. We're talking about almost 150 brake horse, and one thing that's a big thing in this bike is 125 Newton meters of torque, which is unreal and superb. For the man who wants to save money, this bike is built to cover miles and at a hopefully an efficient cost. So service intervals is 1 year or 9,000 miles. So there's no more 4,500 mile services or anything. So we're right up there with the best of them for that. And the biggest thing in any engine is the valve clearances. So that's been moved now to 18,000 miles before the valves need checked. So you can tell that they've put a lot of work into the materials and the design of the engine to make that happen. Another work of art in it is a brand new clutch they have designed, and it works well, as everyone will find out, but there's actually only 3 clutch springs on it, and I've seen cutaways of the engine, and the boys in the workshop have been on a 2-day training course already, so it really does. It looks a superb bit of engineering, the clutch, and it works superb as well.
How the traction control system works on the bike is it works through a drive-by-wire motor, which is basically it's not a stepper motor, it's a brush motor, and it delivers the torque control to the rear wheel as a smooth setting. So my job was just to go along to Bosch. We first did it in Germany and then went to Japan, and we went to one of their test facilities, and in the test facilities we set up basically a street circuit and soaked it with water, and then basically went out and tried to crash the bike. And it was quite interesting, quite a fun project, because I'd never been involved in trying to help produce a traction control setting for a road bike. We'd worked on race bikes obviously in the past for many years. It's quite a different setting altogether. And how it started was the Bosch guys introduced us to the bike with the setting that they had worked on for about 3 months, and as soon as we got onto the bike, any of the KTM guys or myself, we felt that the bike horsepower was much too soft, so it took us quite a while to convince them that we wanted to make it less safe, because Bosch continually try to work on a system that's going to be very safe for the rider, but we didn't want the bike to lose its heritage. The Adventure, they were making a bigger engine, bigger power output, and as such we wanted a bike that worked very well and didn't feel like the power was being taken away from the engine, which is really in a sense what traction control does. So we spent about a week in Japan working on it. We got to a level, basically what it was try this setting and at different angles and different throttle openings, look at the data, go back into the classroom, see where it was working away with too much wheel spin or too much holdback, as we were calling it at that stage, and then try to fix it, map it to accordingly, to get rid of those points or those bad points. In the end, we came up with what's on the bike at the moment. When you look at the bike, the comfort setting and the street setting, there's a sport setting and a range setting, and every one of those settings is different. So, if you decide to take off in street mode and then switch to sport mode as you're going along. Those settings were what we came up with on this test bike in Japan. So we tried different suspension settings at the same time. Try this. Do you like? Is this a comfort setting? Yes, everybody would agree that that was more of a comfort setting. Then we try a sport setting, etc., etc.
Gordon, when you come up 2 seconds, just Gordon was the first man to put his money down for a new KTM 1190. Gordon's been with us for quite a few years now. He's come through from the 690, the 990 SMT, the 990 limited edition, and now he's put this one sitting here is Gordon's, and that's why no one's allowed to touch it. It has to stay there. But Gordon, why have you bought a new 1190?
Well, Phillip, I always liked KTM. And four bikes, as you said, and when I saw that, I sort of
You fell in love with it.
I suppose, and just decided
You'd have one.
I'll have one, yeah.
Yeah, but obviously you've loved your KTMs so far.
Yeah, I think they're seem very well made, good parts on them, and they have sort of a bit of character, more character maybe than a lot of the other bikes. For me, they're sufficiently different, But I think this new bike's sort of different again. The 990 was quite
lovely.
Basic. It was a nice bike. It was quite basic in a lot of respects, whereas this one here seems radically different. It's
I think, to be honest, all bikes will be basic compared to the electronics in this bike.
So I'm really looking forward to getting it.
But also you've visited, a little secret, may as well tell people, you visited the KTM factory.
I did, yeah, a few years back.
And what did you think?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, they made it very welcome, and saw a lot of things going on. And,
yeah, well, we hope to, maybe with Gordon's help and a bit of planning, we hope maybe in the next year or so to arrange a factory visit to KTM. But I see another man stand over there, Paul, and you're not going to get away either. So when Gordon bought the KTM, of course, Paul had to buy one too, So
absolutely, Phillip.
So give us a bit of a fill in why you bought a KTM, Paul.
That's a very good question. I mean, one of the reasons why I'm a friend of Gordon's, and I spoke to Gordon about it. Obviously, he has a lot of experience with KTM's, and he hasn't anything bad to say about them. The other thing, I went to the NEC show, and I was very impressed by the engineering. Some of the bike, the way it's manufactured, the way it was made, the write-up, all the information that was available, and certainly the KTM guys on the stand were very, very knowledgeable and helpful.
They're enthusiastic boys,
aren't they? Extremely enthusiastic, nearly as enthusiastic as yourself, Phillip.
They'll never beat me.
But so I just thought, why not make a change? I've never had a KTM before. Very impressed with the bike. The only decision I had to make really was the colour. And I had originally chosen this colour here. But then
I know you messed up my orders a bit, because I had a grey one ordered for him and now he goes, wants an orange one.
So I changed the orange, and then there was a great debate then about the colour of the engine bars. So they were either black or orange, so they're black, but we'll see anyway.
We'll change the colour of the bike. Now there's another man smirking as well. We've got another purchaser here tonight. Really our first, I think we're up to, Sam keeps me right in this, I think we're up to 10 or 12 now of our first order KTM 1190s have been sold. So we hope there's going to be a few more on top of that. But Andy, you've joined us now in our KTM family.
I have indeed.
How did we get you?
Well, I thought it looked brilliant on paper, and I did a bit more research on it. I realised it had a chain drive on it, and I thought, let's put that on the back burner. A bit afraid of it after having the shaft drives for a good few years. Then I went to the bike show, of course, and I saw it in the flesh, and I thought, that looks bloody good. And I debated between it and the Explorer, and the backwards and forwards. And then I spoke to Sam, and he really talked me into it. And I banged on to my missus so much about it. Yeah, it looks brilliant, it's great. And she says,
well,
look, if you want one, just go and get one.
Well, I checked with her missus. She does think it looks alright.
And once again, the colour was a problem. But that was the biggest decision.
I can't remember what colour's yours.
Well, it was orange, but we're still debating the silver.
It's okay, we can swap petrol tanks if need be, It's not a problem.
It's orange. Has to be, really.
And,
that's about it.
Well, if a KTM, a lot of people, it has to be orange if it's going to be a KTM. But no, look, thank you three men for the purchases and being the first to buy the bikes, and let's hope there's going to be many more. with the feedback and the press reviews so far, it definitely gets a good write-up, and hopefully there's no reason why we can't sell many more. And I promise you, we'll do our best to try and service you the best we can and learn all we can about it. But it really brings KTM on motorcycling to another level with this, with the engine management system and the electronics now, because it even tells you, if you were to run this bike for 2,000 miles low on oil, it'll tell us that. If you were to do 20 cold starts and ride off at full throttle, it would tell you that. And KTM have said they're going to be ongoing developing that system. Like a lot of car systems now are really trick and can tell you everything. So KTM are trying that with the bike. But look, I won't bore you anymore. Thank everyone very much for coming tonight, and you can put your deposit down with Sam on the way out. Not a problem.